Today is October 23rd, 2003. Interview with Mrs. Pierce Villwock.
That's Anna.
Anna Pierce Villwock.
There you go.
Born December 22nd, 1923. Interviewer is Robert Gardner at the Atlanta History Center. Mrs. Villwock. What war did you serve in?
I was in World War II.
What branch of service?
The Navy, I was away.
What was your highest rank?
Yeoman third class.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
No, I enlisted. We weren't drafted.
Where were you living at the time?
When I enlisted, I was living in Columbus, Georgia.
Why did you join?
Well, because I felt that I wanted to do my part. When the war started, we moved to Fort Benning because my father got a job there. Right after Pearl Harbor, I was in Atlanta for Pearl Harbor. And while I was there, I knew a lot of the guys out at Sandy Springs and Harmony Church who were sent overseas. And some of them were killed. Like some of the paratroopers in the 82nd were dropped behind enemy lines. And I had friends in it. I just had to. I had to do my part.
Why did you pick the service branch that you joined?
Because I had a friend in it, a very good friend. He was in the Navy.
Do you recall your first days in the service?
It was cold. This was in the Bronx, New York, at Tuttle College. And it was quite cold. Of course, I'm a Georgia girl.
Can you tell me about your boot camp and training experience?
Yes, I enjoyed it. It was different. I wrote a song for our little section to sing when they were marching back and forth to the mess hall. And it was fun. It was not a problem for me. I'm used to discipline.
Do you remember any of your instructors?
Their names? No.
Do you remember anything about any of them?
They were quite nice. And remember that we were new, okay? So our instructors were new also. We did not go through what people go through today. No drilling. Did stand in review before President Roosevelt, and that was one of my highlights. But no close order drill or things of that kind. Not too much PE that I remember. Of course, I'm exercise anyway, so. But I do remember one thing. The Navy sailors did our mess, and I ate an awful lot of bread and butter while I was there.
How did you manage to get through that?
Wasn't a problem.
Which wars did you serve in?
Only World War II. And it was on a duration.
Where exactly did you go?
I joined in 1944 and went to boot camp at Hunter College, Bronx, New York. From there, I was sent to Oklahoma, to Stillwater, Oklahoma, the Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, for yeoman school. And a yeoman is a clerk, okay? And then from there, I was shipped to Miami, 7th Naval District headquarters in Miami. And I stayed there until I was discharged.
What was your job or assignment while you were there?
I did top secret work in operations. I kept track of ship movements in the Gulf Sea frontier.
Do you remember any of the activities or things that went on at that time?
We had some ship movement, both ours and theirs.
Can you tell us about any of your experiences while you were there?
Work experiences?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
What my part of it, I was a yeoman, okay? So my part of it was keeping a board with ship movement on board. So I was way down the line. I served with top-ranking officers, of course, been in headquarters. And,
How did you stay in touch with your family at the time?
letters.
What was the food like
Where?
when you were at your duty station?
My duty station. Okay. In Miami, I lived at the Robert Clay Hotel, shared a room and a bath with one more girl. And she liked to build fires and ashtrays. And I was just hoping she kept it confined to the ashtray. And Howard Johnson did our mess at the hotel. We had hot dogs every Saturday night. But it wasn't bad.
Did you have plenty of supplies? Whatever you needed?
Yes, but I didn't need much.
Did you feel any pressure or stress while you were doing this job?
No, probably because I was so far down the line, and it was not in the decision-making end of it.
Was there anything special that you did for good luck for you or any of your friends or fellow personnel?
Well, I prayed, of course. I still do.
How did people entertain themselves?
This was Miami, okay? Not a problem. There was almost anything you wanted to do. I was kind of on call if they needed me. When the sailors were called to their ships, I reported to the office. But mostly shows and things like that. Oh, and I had friends in Miami. He was the concertmaster for the University of Miami Symphony Orchestra, and I was with them a lot, actually. So we went to the symphony a lot.
So were there any entertainers or things that they brought to the
No, it wasn't that
basic
kind of
place?
place. We lived in a hotel and worked in the Alpha Lab DuPont building, which is an office building in downtown Miami. We didn't have, I was at headquarters. I didn't have a unit or regiment or whatever. And no.
So it wasn't like being at a naval
No,
base or a
it was not.
station or anything like that?
And that was, that was enough to do. There was enough in Miami for whatever you want to do. So.
Did you get an opportunity to go on any leave while you were in the Navy?
Oh, yes. Yes. I made a trip home, of course, to see the family. While I was in Oklahoma, I met two Navy flight cadets. And they were sent to Banana River, Florida. So, and one of them was a very good friend. And he would come down to Miami to see me, even after he was an ensign. Things were not quite as strict with us as they are now. You know? And of course we did a lot of things together, social things.
Did you have any other places that you traveled to when you were on leave?
I went to Pensacola when he got his gold wings. I flew to Jacksonville on a C-47 that was configured for the paratroopers with bitches on each side. And from Jacksonville to Pensacola, I was on the Secretary of State's plane. And that was a DC-3. But what a difference. It was plush. And I was the only person on there who was not a top-ranking officer. And it was quite nice.
Were there any problems getting to be able to travel, any kind of travel restrictions or anything for you?
Don't forget that I work with top-ranking officers, okay? No problem at all. I was exceedingly fortunate, and I had friends who were not so fortunate, especially the corpsmen. They didn't have it nearly as good as I did. In fact, I felt kind of guilty about that because I kind of had it made in the shade.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual events that happened while you were in the Navy?
Well, let's see. I don't know about humorous. Of course, I was there when President Roosevelt died and cried like a baby. And when for the EMVJ days, I don't remember any humorous events. I'm sure there were some.
You mentioned when President Roosevelt died, were there any special memorial services or things that they had that you might have attended?
I don't remember that. I just remember crying. Not that I know of, okay?
Do you have any photographs that we could see?
Yes, I brought some along. They're not really good, but this was a review at Hunter College in the Bronx, when we reviewed before President Roosevelt. It was so cold, and we waited and waited, and he came, and he was in a convertible. So we got to see him at a distance, but we did get to see him.
Oh, was this because yours was there something special about the class? The reason that he came?
I don't remember. I don't remember that. I don't think we were special. Maybe it was when you could come or something.
Well, I mean, I didn't know whether you were one of the first wave graduating classes or things like that. No.
No, I was not.
You were just lucky that he had some time to come there to see the
So far as I know, I don't remember anything really special about it. He wasn't there long, but he was there.
Yes, I had heard that before, that he liked to come whenever he could to any of the ceremonies with the troops, which was a very special.
Well, this was special for him, I can tell you. And we were very excited about it.
Okay, do you have any more?
This is a picture of my company in Hunter College at boot camp. And this was my commander. That was our section leader on the left. Commander on the right, section leader on the left.
And which one are you?
I am right there.
Okay. If you could show that one up.
If I can pick that up, that's good.
You can just turn it. Oh, that's great. Oh, hang on one second. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
This picture was made at Oklahoma State University, Stillwater, where I had yeoman school.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just marching to mess.
Okay. Are you in that one too?
Oh, I'm in all of these somewhere. Here I am in this one.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
These are my roommates in Oklahoma.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh,
And
that's great.
I'm third from the left.
Oh, that's great.
And I don't remember the names of my roommates. We went our separate ways. I was the only one who went to Miami.
I see you have one more.
I have one more. I believe this was made in Stillwater. I'm not quite sure of that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What did you think of your officers and fellow soldiers, fellow enlisted personnel?
Well, that's the thing about it. I didn't have fellow enlisted personnel except in my at the hotel. And the officers, the admiral of the 7th Naval District stood back and allowed me on the elevator first. He said, "You may be in the Navy now, but you were a lady first." So they treated me like a little, I thought they were wonderful. They were very good to me.
Did you happen to keep a personal diary?
No, I do now, but I did not then.
Do you recall the day your service ended?
Well, I don't know when it was, but as far as recalling the actual day, no.
Or things that happened during that day? What?
No, I know I was glad that I could get out of that uniform. See, I had civilian clothes at this friend's house. So I went, that's where I went after.
Do you recall what you were doing when you heard that the atomic bomb had been dropped in Japan?
I certainly remember the event, and I was utterly delighted because that meant the end of the war, and it saved our lives and it saved theirs also. I was probably in, I don't really swear I was.
What did you do in the days and weeks after you were discharged from the service?
I went to the University of Miami.
Did you work or just go back to school?
Went back to school.
Was your education supported by the GI Bill?
Yes.
Did you make any close friendships while you were in the service?
No, not really.
Did you join a veterans organization?
I'm a member of the Atlanta World War II Roundtable. I am also a member of the American Legion. I'm not active in the American Legion. I am active in the Atlanta World War II Roundtable.
Do you attend any reunions?
No. In my situation, there'd be nobody with whom to have a reunion. So no, I don't.
What kind of activities does your poster association that you are actively involved in do or have?
Okay. We meet on the third Thursday of the month, and we have speakers who are veterans, tell their stories. It's very interesting.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. I was quite young when Pearl Harbor happened, and we moved, as I told you, to Columbus, to Fort Benning. My father worked at Fort Benning. My sister lived on the post with her husband, and I spent a lot of time there. So I was very much impressed. I was at an impressionable age, okay? And of course the war was very traumatic for me. So I still do my exercises and hold myself erect. And yes, it certainly influenced me.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Well, as I just stated, I have left God and my country. And we didn't have a problem with that at that time. And my generation still doesn't. But my daughter says I have an awesome sense of responsibility. I think all that comes out of that.
Amazing. Is there anything that you'd like to add that we haven't covered? Or anything you'd like to talk about?
Well, let's see. I told you about a friend I met and went to Pensacola when he got his gold wings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the TPMS that were lost over the Bermuda Triangle?
Yes, ma'am.
And the two PBMs that went in search of them? My two friends were on one of the PBM that went down or was lost, or whatever happened to it. It didn't come back to base. One did, that one didn't. And that was very traumatic for me. And I think you've about covered it. I think you have. You have any more questions?
If there's anything you'd like to add, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. I did go to the University of Miami. I came to Atlanta and worked at the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. I am retired from there. I went to Georgia State University and got my master's degree.
And a master's degree in what?
In school psychometry. However, that was in 1982, which was not all that long ago. Well, everything's relative. But because I was well along in my career at CDC, I just went back to CDC and worked as a statistician. I had a birth defect program. I had examiners who went into the hospitals in the metropolitan Atlanta area and brought me back statistics on birth defect, which I input into the computer, analyzed, and those analyses were used by our doctors for reports, and the finished product went to the World Health Organization, where it was compiled with others from all over the world. Or sometimes, actually, they came to us and we compiled them. But that was interesting. But it was the GI Bill of Rights that got me at the University of Miami. And I appreciate that.
It's wonderful.
I really don't know of anything else.
I'd like to thank you very much for taking your time and doing this interview with us. It's been my pleasure.
You're
I
quite
really
welcome.
appreciate this very much.
I thank you for doing it.
This is history that would be lost if we weren't able to do this. And I really appreciate everybody that comes and tells me their stories. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.